Yes, yes, yes. Hello, 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 hello. Big up one, big up all. Give everybody a couple of minutes to come in. Hope everybody's had a good weekend, as they say. Nothing's going on this weekend by the look of it, anyway. Nothing's going on left, right, centre today, yesterday, and blah, blah, blah. And the sun was shining. So yeah. Nothing's going on. I'm hoping that everybody had a good weekend, good day. Just let me wait for a couple of people to come in, show me that you can see the video and everything and everything. Let me see who's about on a Sunday. The sun was out. Nice, nice. I have to say, very nice indeed, very nice. Hopefully we're going public at the moment, so should be able to see things good and clearly. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Waiting for one or two just to come in. Live videoing on a Sunday, doing things nicely, just relaxing now. So taking it easy on a Sunday and thing. Just waiting to see if this is actually popping up. So let's have a look. Are we, let me see, what's the plus there? It's alive, yeah. Are we going to what? Okay, let's just see. Okay, we'll wait for a couple of people to come along, make sure the video is going live. I see one eye up here. Sometimes you have to wait for this internet connection. There's a next eye and rah. And you have to wait for people to come along. It takes long sometimes. Big up all those who's been out and about this weekend. As I said, the weather's been very, very nice for true. I know there's a few good outside events. A couple of my people at an outside event where Roddy Gunn and Channel One, they're all up there as well. There's some outside events down this side and blah blah blah. So wherever you're there, I hope you're having a good afternoon because the weather's there for it anyway. You know what I mean? I'm just blaring for the first couple of minutes. Just wait for a couple of eyes to come through. Then we're gonna have a little sound system chatting thing, chatting about settings. I want to chat about some settings today, different sound owners, different sound man. I want to chat some equalization and crossover points, So wait for a couple of people to come in, and then we'll get along with that. Yeah, I want to big up Roger British, who's always all over the country supporting the industry at the moment. Putting things left, right, and centre. So big up yourselves there as well. Big up Michigan and Ben Wells. Wow. That's all I can say. Yeah, wow. Big up them two, doing things for the soca people, hard and massive as well. Yeah. Big up Vinny Kulla next Sunday, Dub Life up there in Hayes. I'll be warming up there for a couple of hours. And then the Saturday after that, we got Put the Needle on the Record, the Funk Boogie edition. Right, okay, I don't want to warble too much, so let's get on with things and let's chat. Right, now, I want to talk about equalization and boxes and blah blah blah, a couple of things that have come to me over the years, and chatted to certain sound man over the years and everything, right? Now, back in the day when I'm stepping back again, I always do and everything, but back in the day when I started, you had the two box configuration basically. You had your high box and you had your bottom box. Yeah. So your highs was playing your highs, your bass was playing your bass. Them times there, don't ask me about numbers and frequencies, but I'm presuming that the highs would just rise from 250 upwards and the bass was coming from 250 downwards. Quite simple, yeah. And then they broke it up some more. So then you had your high range, your mid range, and your bass range. That's how it used to be. Just a simple three, which was broke up again I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the dates and everything, but I'm pretty sure it was the bass would play roughly up to about 180 to 250. Your mid-range would play from 250 to 2.5 to 4K, and then your tops would play from 4K up to 16, 20K, whatever. And as you step forward in the years, it was broke up again. Now, I'm not sure which come first, whether it was the breakup of the mid-range section or whether it was the breakup of the top section, because the breakup of the top section was quite simple. It went the horn and the tweeter section. So you went from, say, 4K to 12, which was your horn or your top section, and then from 12 to 20, which was your tweeter section. And also, I'm not sure if it was done round about the same time. Dates vary, but you had your split of the mid-range, which again, low mid 250 to what, 4 to 6 to 8 maybe. I'm depending on the person, and then high range from 800 up to 2.5K, 4K, whatever. Roughly about them numbers. And then you had the splitting of the bottom end, which now you have sub bass and upper bass, or sub bass and kick section, whatever they call it. So that would be 20 to roughly, depending on who you are, because this narrows down the bandwidth of that. So 20 to 60, 70, maybe 80 hertz. And then an upper kick from 80 to 120, 160. Now, it leaves gaps here and there in the equalization points when you talk about things like this, because back in the day, and still now, I'm a man. I do a lot of tuning by ear, and as we say, those who tune by ear, that's subjective tuning. So that's down to the actual person themselves, how they feel about how their tuning is sounding with certain tunes. So that's subjective tuning. Now, you got these days so much man who talk about objective tuning, which is the scientific and the digital. So that the objective tuning must be correct, must be the correct way. But if you think about it, your ears hear, everybody's ears hear things differently. So sound is very subjective, no matter what they tell you. Sound is very subjective. Yes, there is the scientific bits which have to be run, but overall is very subjective. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, all these frequencies are now been, like your high, your mid, your sub, are now all split into two, maybe a couple which can go deeper and play 6-way and 7-way sound and rare tear. But your frequencies are now split into two, let's just say. For now, they're split into two. Now, as a man who I like to run, how can I put it? I like to run my bass subsection with just strictly bass sub frequencies. Yeah. Now, usually I would play mine depending on where I'm at and blah blah blah. I'm one of them. I'm not going to change this. I'll play my sub up to 70, 80 hertz. No big thing. A few times I've done it in them dances where I play it up to 100 hertz. No big thing, if it works. Yeah, because you've got enough man who, you can't be a real sound if you play your subsection higher than 60 hertz and all that. Ears and application. Yeah, that is the thing. Ears and application do the work. Yeah. Now, as I was saying, I've been the last year or so, been, you know, as well as doing my own things, but I've been to a few different dances, few different sounds, listening and, you know, taking in vibes and what have you over the last few years. And it's been very interesting for me, especially with the digital setups as well, that certain equalization and crossover points does happen. And for me, the majority of them sounds, I have to say, sound good when they do, you know, sweeps that run into 2 boxes. Yeah. Which, again, according to science, according to objective things, you shouldn't do. Yeah. But a subjective person, right, who is setting up their set and tuning it by ear, will quite happily, you know, get that sweep correct in, say, your bottom and your tops boxes. Now, see, this is the next thing. Yeah, people talk to me about equalization. Now, I can't see everybody's comments at the moment, so big up yourselves if you're there. African, Ebony, Lethal Boss, big up yourselves each and every time, yeah? Now, people say, you know, too much equalization, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Big up George Roots, yeah? Now, let's say now a lot of, you know, you got a few sounds these days that use double boxes on top, double boxes on the bottom. Now, double boxes on the bottom are a lot easier to control because usually you'll find that a double box on the bottom is just a 1 sub box. Yeah. So that's just going to play them notes that you want. Now, it is when you have the boxes above. Now, personally, I prefer separates. It's a preference thing. Yeah, that's just a preference thing. But for ease of use, yeah, I play my frequencies in 1 box. You know, if I can take out the separate set and have a good dance there, I'll do that. But for ease of use, put the 1 box above the sub. Now, as they say, depends on box, depends on driver, but it also depends on how you send your signals as well. Because to me, if you've got a box upstairs that can say, let's say, play from 80 hertz all the way up to 20k, yeah, and you're controlling that from your control tower. Now, people have said to me, well, you know, how come you put so much EQ in on this, and how come how come you like to do this, do that? Now, again, isn't that very subjective? And again, isn't that depending on what signal you're putting into that and where you're taking out that EQ signal and putting it into? Yeah, again, subjective. The reason I'm talking about this is because, like again, like I say, a 3-way box. Let's have a 3-way box, and you're playing that from 80 hertz upwards. Now, are you going to have that final control from your mixer and more or less set your EQ flat so that that tune now, yeah, is, as they say, that, and as Cousin Ren, APS, big up yourself, said to me many times, there isn't, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't got a tune that is flat response there at all. Yeah, none of my tunes I can push a button and say, boy, everything's on the same level. Yeah, so to me, you need to do the little bit of EQing to get what you are after. Yeah, but controlling your top box from a mixer to get that fine sound that you need, yeah, say it's a 3-way box. Now, people have said to me, oh, well, why? I'm a person, right? I can use a preamp, an EQ, a crossover. People would say to me, you got a 3-way box, yeah? Why, if that 3-way box has got 2 internal crossovers, would you want to use, along with that, an external crossover? And I've said, because it is, for me, it's simple, because that's how I can run externally to make sure that the frequencies I'm setting are sounding crisp in that box. The actual internal crossover is just protecting the driver. So the driver itself isn't taking the frequency, it's not meant to be pushing. So therefore, my external crossover now, if I'm using it just for one box, or even if I'm using it for different, but you're tuning that signal, whether it be mid-range, high range, horn range, whatever, you're tuning that signal as you go into that box to mold with the rest of the signals to go into that box. Yeah, and that way, for me, you will get a nicer sound. But again, subjective. Yeah, that's how I like to run things. You know, you got many digital man who will, you know, push a couple of buttons and get their settings via factory or via book or whatever. Yeah, and that couple of buttons and save it, and it works for them. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if it works for you and it sounds good, boom. Personally, I'm a man, I like to, as I say, like to fiddle and twist. The reason I'm doing this is because I've been asked about EQing and crossover points. Yeah. Now, personally, I don't like to go above, and like I said, it must be a disco party application for me to do it, to go above 80 hertz for my subsection. But I did get asked, and this part of it is very, very subjective. Yeah. Now, they brought in now what they call, and some reggae man don't understand why, whatever. But you know, for a while, you have your kick section, you have your upper bass section. Now, this part of sound system at the moment can be seriously subjective, because certain man will play that upper bass from, let's say, 60, 70 hertz, and then cut that upper bass at 120, 130 hertz. So you've got a bandwidth of 50, maybe 60 hertz. Yeah, small, you know, in that area. But my thing is, yeah, now you've done that, and you've now got sub bass, and now you've gone up to 120 hertz with upper bass. Yeah. Now, I agreed with somebody when I chatted to them the other day, because people are getting real too technical these days, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But if that is the case, and you're playing sub bass to 60, 70 and playing upper bass from 70 to 120, that means the cab up above these two boxes will play from 120 all the way up to 20k. So that's right at the top. Yeah. As somebody said to me, isn't bass supposed to be up to 200, 250 hertz? So therefore, are you not playing bass in your top speaker? Now, I smiled, because what the man is saying to me is completely correct. Yeah, because I will be playing bass in it, and he's completely, but there is a lot of men who will argue with you over that. And again, like I said, them things are very subjective. It's your ears, your own ears, that make you hear what you're hearing. You could say to a man, oh look, your tops ain't just playing, they're playing deep, they're playing bass, and a man say, nah, but it is. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, it's a subjective thing. It's a subjective. I would like to know personally, you know, how some people, you know, like to run their setups. I'm a simple man, mixer, EQ, crossover, you know, preamp, blah, blah, blah. I know there's man out there who use speaker management, which it's very simple things all in one unit, a couple of them together, and a mixer. which I've been saying for 4 years, you know, I must study, but I still haven't got round to that. But, you know, I'll get round to that. But as I was saying, we're just chatting today about equalization points, crossover settings, sweeping one frequency into another. I mean, a lot of old school preamps had that sweep and everything. And these days you can do that if you know what you're doing but in reality, most speaker managements will tell you not to do that. But again, that's why I like to stay analog, because that gives you, you know, that still gives you the opportunity to do that if you feel to at the time. Yeah. Now, I know all this is boring. Some people just ain't interested in this sort of thing at all, but I'm doing the videos because I'm asked to do, you know, I get questions about this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I want to, you know, spread some of my knowledge to the sound man that's out there as well. Also, I'm not going to chat about this today, but I do want to have a chat with some of the sound people out there about stereo and mono. Because again, you know, for me, you know, a lot of questions to be asked, but there's a lot of confusion that I'm seeing out there about stereo and mono and blah, blah, blah. So I want to have a chat with people and see people's perspectives on that as well, because it's interesting. The way I think of it may not be the same way a next man just think of it. So I'd like to have a sound conversation about them thing there as well. So yeah. That was it basically from, you know, equalization points. You know, how do you like to swerve your system? Put it high, put it low, keep it flat. You know, but like I said, the subjective thing is my main thing. You know, subjective sound. You know, each man likes to hear his differently. We could have one PA man, one theatre man, and one man who is a studio man. You could give all three of them the same 3 amplifiers, the same signal path. You could give them the same speakers. Yeah, you'd be guaranteed that all 3 systems would sound different, because you have 3 different ears. So to me, that, you know, that's how I look at it. There's man out there who wouldn't agree with me at all, but you know what I mean. That's how it goes. You know what I mean. If you don't, all you have to do is just put some comments and let me know what you think. You know what I mean. That's what it's about. You know, sharing, and you tell me and I tell you. You educate me, I can tell you a little something. Anyway, that's Sunday done. Sunday finish. I've got some more sound system testings and chattings to come up, and we're going to get back on things again and start roll things, because summer's coming up and there's events coming up, and I'm glad to see everybody's still on a vibe. You know, I had a wicked vibe last weekend, and this one just taking time, but I'm glad to see everybody is still there on a vibe and still smiling, because after COVID and all them kind of things, let's brush them thing one side and come back with a blouse and skirts, smile upon your face. Yeah, Father Chalky, Simple Things Audio. No matter what you do, look after one another, love one another, unite together. Later will be greater.